Sitting in Sukasana. Let the hands rest onto the knees. The eyes closed. Noticing how you're feeling after that. And deep dive into breath and body appreciation. Now we'll take this feeling, this meditative feeling with us as the eyes open, and we'll come into our next pose, which is a child's pose. It's different though. So take your bolsters away. Come onto the knees and extend one leg out to the side. So the leg comes out to the side, and from here we sit the hips back onto the heels with that leg extended. Now you can use a bolster if you want for support for the torso if that feels good. Or you can release the forehead down to the floor. We're not going to hold this child's pose as long as we usually might, because of the intensity that just having one knee bent poses to that bent knee. And also the strength of stretching through the groin on the extended leg side. Now, if you're not feeling much of that stretch in the leg, try bringing your foot a little further forward and then sitting back with this leg at an angle to the hip. And connect in with that same wonderful feeling of connection to breath and body, of appreciation for body. Let us not take for granted our good health. And that we have limbs and joints that freely move without pain is a gift. That we have breath that can flow unhindered is a gift. Let's come up now. Nice and slow. Make your way towards tabletop, sliding that leg back carefully. Take your time. Release the hips from side to side as if you're going to sit down onto the floor, stretching into the outer hip. And we'll come down onto the belly for Sphinx pose. Take your feet nice and wide, resting onto the forearms, getting good support from the bones of the upper body so that there's not a lot of muscular effort here. And now we can take our awareness once again right down into that navel center. Noticing how when we breathe to the deep belly on inhale, the belly presses into the earth. Feeling that gentle therapeutic squeeze for the back body as well here. The beauty of all existence rests within you. Heaven peers from your two eyes. Compare yourself to another and watch how quickly the light goes out. Thus, when you see beauty within, you'll see it without. As heaven shows, the healer knows. Unconditional love has no opposite. This is true balance. We'll release down, either crossing the hands with the forehead resting onto the hands or turning the head to one side. Hands can be back by the hips if that's what you prefer. Taking your deep balloon breaths. Feeling the fullness of your body sink into the floor, resting completely. We'll come up again, once more, into that Sphinx position. Setting yourself up, enjoying that squeeze for back body, feeling a sense of opening and length along the front body. Very subtly, energetically here, you can feel the pubic bone, right? It's pressing down into the floor. Try to lengthen your pubic bone down towards the knees, just a little bit. Not a lot, but just this subtle energetic action of sending the pubic bone down towards the knees, lengthening it down towards the feet. Will create even more energetic squeezing into that lower back. This may feel good for you. You may wish not to apply this energetic cue. It's up to you. Now with that pubic bone, if you're choosing to lengthen it down towards the toes, now try to lengthen your belly button away from the pubic bone. So the pubic bone is anchoring down towards the toes, but you're lifting the belly button away from it. Feel that deepen just a bit more into your Sphinx. And we'll release down. All right, so head comes down, opposite ear to the mat, or again, forehead onto crossed hands. Feeling that balloon breath. Using your breath to lengthen the lower back if possible. And just through awareness and intention. The hands will come under the shoulders. Do protect your lower back by engaging the core as we come back to tabletop. So we want the core strong so the lower back is stable. Yep. And now the opposite leg will come out to the side. We'll sit back once again into our child's pose with the opposite leg extended. So you might rest the torso on a bolster. You might choose to let the forehead come down to the floor or down onto your head. Breathing. Grounding and connecting with the earth. We'll come back up to tabletop. Again, take it slow as you walk that foot in. From your tabletop, sway the hips side to side. Releasing into the outer hip. Now, finding your center here in tabletop, take your left foot up and back, lift it, and bring it across towards your right side. So you're going to reach that the left toes are lifted, and bring the toes down to the outside of your right foot. So as we stretch that leg really far, breathe that left hip away from the left shoulder, and then turn to look at your right toes. Breathing into the side body. You're feeling that stretch right where the pelvis and the side waist meet. And we'll unwind back to center. Take your time. Take a breath here in tabletop. Now your right leg goes up, and you'll move it across your body towards the left side, placing it down as far as you comfortably can there. The toes are tucked under. You're feeling that nice stretch, and then turning to look over your left shoulder towards the right toes. Breathe fully, deeply, slowly. And please come back to center. Now from tabletop, come down onto the forearms. Keep the hips right above the knees, puppy pose. We'll take it one side at a time first. Right arm goes straight. Pivot on the left elbow so that your left forearm is parallel to the top of your mat. And adjust that forearm so that as you bring your head down, your forehead rests onto the left forearm. The right arm is reaching. And we're breathing deep into this nice stretch into the armpit and shoulder on the right side. The heart is melting down. Notice how well you can listen to your breath here. So use that sound of your breath to enhance your meditation. Where can you release extraneous tension and holding? Granted, this posture does require a little bit more muscular activation than others. We'll come up out of this, so carefully pressing into your tabletop, and we'll arch our spine up to the ceiling, letting the head drop, coming into angry cat. Press down both hands into the floor and feel the back of the heart arching up. Head is dropped, it's heavy. Breathing into the space between the shoulder blades. Return to neutral spine. Come down onto forearms, hips stay above the knees. Other side, left arm goes straight, right forearm comes parallel to the top of your mat. Let your head release down onto right forearm here, and the left arm is extended and a little bit active. Listening for the sound of your breath and feeling each delicious breath really opening through the ribs. And there's this incredible fascial release through the armpit and down into the side body through the latissimus dorsi muscle. You can enhance and facilitate this release by breathing deeply, by feeling fully our body's experience, and working with our body with appreciation. We'll come back nice and slowly, making our way again to angry cat, pressing into both hands equally, arching the spine, dropping the head. Now, we're feeling the shoulder blades separating, but also trying to hug your belly button, round it up and into the body, using some strength here to really arch the spine as best you can. And we'll release. Now we're going to do both. So come down onto both forearms, full on puppy pose. And the arms will straighten and the forehead will come down. And this is also called Anahatasana. Anahata is the Sanskrit name for the heart center, the heart chakra. And this pose is all about melting the heart down. And we get there through this incredible opening through the shoulders. It also brings the bend of the spine, that nice compression of the spine, higher into the mid-spine. So in Sphinx, we were compressing and nourishing the lower spine. And in Puppy, now we're right at like T12, the bra line area, feeling that spine opening. Just a couple more breaths. And we'll come up nice and slow. Walk the hands back. Just take a tabletop here with a nice neutral spine. And now please find your seat. We'll sit in Sukasana. With the legs comfortably crossed, circle the shoulders. Inhale them up, exhale them back and down, nice and slow. There's quite a deep stretch into the shoulders. Go in the other direction with the shoulder rolls. Good. Now, see if you can, behind your back, either bring your fists together or grab onto your wrists, or maybe you can even grab onto your elbows behind the back. All right, drop the chin to the chest, stay nice and tall in your seat, mindful of your breathing. We're just going to work a quarter of the circle. Bring your right ear out to the shoulder, and then bring your chin forward and down to center. So this is really slow and deep. Inhaling ear to shoulder, and exhaling chin to center. No hurry. Feeling into the neck and the upper shoulder. We'll do one more on this side. And when your chin comes back down to center, now we'll switch sides. So inhaling left ear to shoulder and down the center. Continue. One more. And when your head comes back down to center, keep it there. Release your hands to interlace them behind the head. Stay nice and tall through the spine and upper shoulders, but do allow the weight of the hands to gently guide the head forward. Releasing the hands, the head comes to a natural neutral position, and you'll take your hands onto the chest just below the collarbone, one hand on top of the other while you press in and down towards the belly button. Now keep the jaw closed and lift the chin. Head returns to neutral. Hands release down, close the eyes, take a breath or two here, just notice. Awareness
awareness of breath in belly and breath in the chest and breath in the third eye.